Lights out and away we go. If you're on Facebook, if you're on my Facebook right now, this is what I usually do when there's something that needs to be said. I don't usually do streaming consistently like I should. That may change this year, especially for World Cup purposes and others. But yes, I'm Thomas. This is Facebook. Usually, and I say this with all due respect, usually I wanted to do a multi-stream, but I can't do it today. So, or I can't do it because Restream won't let me be great, but I decided to do it today. So it's time. It's time I said this. For those people that haven't met me on Facebook, which is my newest one because the other one just got popped off the street. And for those that, hopefully, if I got it on YouTube, I'm Thomas. I've been in Louisiana for literally most, if not all of my life. I was born in Huey P. Long Hospital, which was a charity hospital back in the day. But yeah, good reason for Louisiana because we can't keep the money. Gone. But I do have something to say. Was going to deal with in a lot of ways OF, but we'll just get that one and I'll talk about it in another stream if any. But this is what I'm going to say. I do go on and do Grok or ChatGPT and then ask questions and see what in a mind of an AI person that has been in a state for whatever amount. It's this. And that's the 2027 election, by the way. We haven't talked, Louisiana doesn't talk about this enough, but I'm happy to say this. We're 2 minutes in, so 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. Welcome to my stream. I'm going to say this with all due respect. I am not on any partnership program, whether Facebook, whether YouTube, anyone else. And I mean anyone else. And my dependence is not just on, my dependence is on the people that is going to see for this stream. And you click the link in my bio. And if you like having the Flues app, if you like crypto.com or others, and you want to use, I like to use it, click the link, join, do whatever you have to do to follow directions and follow what it needs to be done for you to get paid and get the stuff you like. And I get a cut of that as a thank you. So, because here's the thing, I've been saying this when it comes to, and a lot of it is due to the original apocalypse and my opinions of, I am not going to be the person to live off of a partnership program, which for the cases of YouTube, you could be deplatformed or better yet, be demonetized and you're not going to make a dime. So at this case, that's my voice. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it and I'm not going to be dependent on a partnership program. But that's another story. To me, for those that haven't talked about or haven't looked at it, 2026 election is coming hard, like Ayrton said hard, and I mean speed vision hard, but it's this. 2026 election is an important one for the country, especially for Louisiana's sake, but it's also another important thing. The 2026 election is important because now we're going to see the biggest issue of it. It is Jeff Landry's decision to cut off the independent party for Louisiana and to choose in many ways. Guess what, y'all? I'm letting you know right now, comments are open. Comments are open on Facebook. If you want to do so, do so. You can comment, you can talk to me. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for it, but I will have something to say and I will say it to the utmost degree. and I'm saying this in my own words and everything else. It is 2026 election is important to Louisiana for the biggest cause, and it's the cause of it, and it's its own cause. The issues of Louisiana starts in the 80s when it comes to oil and gas and their prices being tanked for it. But this is an issue for a long time. This is not just even recent, even during 2020. This is not even a recent thing. This is an issue for a long, long time. And a lot of it has been an issue for a long, long time. And I say this it's not even for apathy. It is a need. This was been warned. This was been warned on these issues for way, way long. And a lot of people are going to blame in this state and even in other parishes that are red parishes. We're going to blame the Democrats. No. To me, I don't do the straddling of the post, but I have to do the straddling of the post because there's responsibility that should be on the feet of both of these parties. And this is it. The Democrats and the Republicans are responsible for a lot of their issues of this state, because even if it's top 30 in education, I will say this with all due respect, that isn't enough. That isn't enough for me. That isn't enough for any person that is on the autism spectrum or anybody else. That is not enough. My goal for Louisiana when it comes to education is not even top 30. It's top 20 or top 15 or top 5. Better yet, top 6, just like in Formula One back in the day. Six drivers would make it to the 6 places. You get points on that. So number 1, for the first one, you get 10 points, and down to 6th place, you get a point. That's how important to me. I would say this: Louisiana should be top 5 or top 6 if we don't desire to be top 30. I have no desire to be top 30 for a state like this. It should be top 15, 20, 10, whatever. Top 5, even in a Formula One way back in the day, top 6. I don't care. But that's the point of it. It is, in a case of it, I'm happy it is growing, and it's high time to do so. In my case of this state, and I tell this as a person that has been on the spectrum, I am taking medications. I have done the unholy IEPs with mom. I have done the unholy IEPs to the point where I'm signing my name on a line for an IEP meeting. It's simple. It's too fun. It's too easy. I've done this as literally a junior. So I'm IEP. I know my mama couldn't get out of the house because she's elderly. She's elderly even back then, and now she's elderly now. She's next door to me, but she's next door to me in her room. But I say this in a lot of ways, in so many of them. Louisiana is on borrowed time. And the importance of not even just the 2026 election. For Formula One fans, I'm a Formula One fan. I'm a racing fan. I'm a racing fan on heart. But I say this. This is the testing ground for 2026. And for Jeff Landry, governor of the state of Louisiana, to say, hey, let me cut the independent party because whatever. You're getting young people that are no party affiliates in the same place as libertarians in some cases. People who are not affiliated by party, but it's also, even after that, you are dealing with even the craziest part. You're trying to affiliate also with folks that have issues with government. And also for the cases of young people in the state, and to start elections, young people are going to be independent because they're looking at both parties are bums, or they don't know who to choose, or don't want to deal with either of them. In my case in Louisiana, I have done this since 2007. I am no party affiliate. I am not affiliated with any party. I will die on that hill. I will die on that because I don't support either. I don't support either party that is in this issue. And I think a lot of this in the state of Louisiana, here's the good news. It's already signed on the dotted line and already done it. I've seen Louisiana at its best and its worst on both parties. But at the end, Louisiana, on both instances, it's responsibility of people that you vote for. And both parties are responsible in different ways, but it's also at the end, both parties have responsibility for their own screw ups. And guess what? Both parties have screwed up this state for years. But it's not, and at the end, this is coming from, I think, Louisiana Gazette or whatever. Not even Louisiana Gazette, but those is like the Louisiana blog that is center or whatever. Let's just say this. This is not a problem of a Natchitoches Parish as a red parish or Caddo Parish. This is a significant problem that has been an issue for the entire state for so damn long. This is the Louisiana state government problem that is an issue for years. It's also young people are leaving this state because Texas and Florida give more opportunities than this state. To me, I will say this in its entirety, it is disrespectful to me to have to leave this state. But the problems of this state is everybody will have to put the finger and blame on someone. And for a lot of young people, it's capitalism. Let's be real with it. For a lot of people, it is capitalism. I don't blame it. I don't blame capitalism. The problem is both parties that has been in this issue for years. I'm going to say this, even for this. I don't have to straddle the fence because I don't have to straddle the fence when it comes to both parties. I've seen them both screw up. I've seen both parties screw up on the biggest stages. That's a fact. That is a fact. I've seen state of Louisiana on both parties screw up. So I have a right to straddle the fence because I've seen them both screw up. Don't try me. Don't try me on the comment section, though, because it is the truth. I have lived in this state literally most of my life, and I have the right to basically tell it for what it is. Louisiana, even before they made it as like close to a top 30 in education, it has been either dead last or the back of the grid when it comes to in the same two places as each other of Mississippi and Alabama, but mostly Mississippi. The complaints that I have about this state, but it's also it's not even the complaints first. I will say this for the good. We are known for Louisiana for creating the best food in the business. We've done this shit. I have been in Louisiana. I have ate a lot of, even if it is, I ate shrimp. I ate crawfish. And that's years after all that shit. Let's be honest with that. Let's be honest with that. I have even ate, like, not even just fish, but just not even just white perch, just catfish. I have talked about, even for like in Adventist church. I've been in an Adventist church for years, literally years and years and years. I have seen in a lot of ways, but I live in this state, and at the end, we have a unique juncture of in this part of the area of Louisiana as Sportsman's Paradise. Because guess what? We have different ways of different spots to talk about whether it's Sportsman's Paradise or another one or another one or another one. I say this in the title of this stream, and I on this line. An honesty assessment is needed, and I'm going to force it on you for it. Louisiana is not just having problems since 2020. This is an issue for years. This is an issue for my birth mother's case since she graduated high school. Even for certain people, it has been an issue even since the 70s that they also graduated from high school. I have seen Natchitoches screw up in a lot of ways. I have seen issues that should make 0 sense. But it's there. I have seen, you want the version of the first 48? Guess what? Northwestern State, a true crime. It should be a true crime story of a player in Northwestern State of football team dead on bullets because of a drug deal gone wrong. Yes, I said it. True Crime on Oxygen, True Crime Investigation Discovery. That story should be on both, on one or both. I'm not joking. That is true crime of college. But the point of it is this. Northwestern State has grown this year, and I'm happy for that. Round of applause. Round of applause for Northwestern State. Because nowadays, I believe it's either U.S. News and World Report or say this. They are number one. They are number one for people's budgets in Louisiana. And that's not even just the state. Number one for the budgets. And it's this. But the honesty assessment is even worse. But at the end, this is a good benefit. I'm happy Northwestern State is gaining new freshman classes. They're growing on the freshman classes. It has grown to the point where, guess what? There has been no vacancies for dormitories in this state, in this parish, for Northwestern State University. Round of applause. Round of applause. It has been no vacancies in all dorms in Northwestern State for the first time in a while, or somebody saying the first time ever. Round of applause. Round of applause. Natchitoches Parish is, in the best way I've said this, it is doing better and better and better every school year. Round of applause to them as well. I'm clapping and round of applause. This is not taunting. This is not for disrespect. I graduated high school in Natchitoches Central in 2007. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything else. This is not fun for me to talk about the bad. But I know the bad. If you are a student in high school right now, if your first election is the 2026 midterms, that is a close primary, and for 2027, for the class of 2027 in Natchitoches Central or any other state and parish, for both of these issues, for 2027, as a governor's election that could decide whether or not this state has a future, whether or not you will have a life after that. My Lord, every person that is a parent that is not even your sons or daughters or anything else, and every parent that you have that is in a high school setting in this state, everybody, if you have been in church, should pray for them right now. Every person that is a teacher, every person that is a parent of kids that are in school, and parents of their friends and everything else, everybody should pray for them. You're going to see two of the biggest issues that are going to line up for this. If your first, in 2026, your first election is going to be the most brutal one of your life. This is going to be the 2026 midterm election for the state of Louisiana for the United States Congress, which is the Senate, the U.S. Senate, and the U.S. House of Representatives. And that's when you realize, good Lord, it's a bottom line problem. You're seeing, in a lot of ways, in so much insanity, it's going to be this. 2026, for a lot of cases, is closed primary season. This is now official. This is official. This is as of this year. Not even this year. I mean, a year ago. As of 2025 for Jeff Landry. This 2026 is a closed primary year. It has started that way. But here's the good news. And 2027 is why I'm going to talk about this on this stream, and that title is an honesty assessment. The 2027 election is going to be the factor of whether or not this state even has a shot of its own celebratory Ayrton Senna music, a celebratory of Timothy Victoria. It's going to decide if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and I'm going to say this is going to, like, if you are Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds at that point, which at the time, if you're watching 4Kids TV, you're screwed, boy. You're screwed. You're screwed because you're going to have to go straight to an anime spot and then just grab the last several episodes. After it's going to be the final 3 episodes or final few episodes that is going to this is basically the boss battle that decides the series. So it's this. It is Yusei versus Z1. Z-O-N-E. So Z-O-N-E. These two, for me in this case, for those that have watched the show, whether in Japanese, where it's raw, what is straight Japanese, or the dub, or even the subbed, Lord bless you. You're about to see myself geek because I could compare them both. Yusei is basically this. Millennials and Gen Z. We are that. We are likely Yusei. His friends are literally Gen X. So millennials and Gen Z, for millennials and Gen Z, myself as a millennial, we are basically Yusei. We are Yusei taking on the status quo of this state. And the status quo is the established, the biggest establishment you'll ever see. The establishment of the Democratic and Republican parties of this state. Z1, the villain of the final series, of literally the villain in this show. And I'm talking, if you are a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, trust me. My recommendation, if you want to see what a potential election could get to this point and why local elections are important, Yusei Fudo versus Z-1, or better yet, Yusei Fudo versus Z1. The final few episodes of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's anime. Why I use that show why did I use this show as an example here? Why am I using, in the case for millennials and Gen Z, and even if you want to tack that on, Gen X in this case, why are these three is going to be Yusei in this case? And why is Z1 is the establishment of the GOP and Democratic Party and the status quo and the establishment of this state? That is Z1. Why is he there a villain in this case? It is a villain of this case because this is the storyline for the past since the 80s, the 90s, and even before the 80s. Louisiana is an out-migrated state because, we have no opportunities. I'll tell you why this state had no opportunities. And that's no disrespect for young people, but I don't blame them. Because both parties are literally, you're dealing with cronyism. This isn't a capitalism problem. There isn't a capitalism problem. This is a cronyism problem. This is a cronyism problem that has ate up this state for a lot of people since they were born. In a lot of cases, for elderly people, which is the baby boomers, since the 60s and 70s. Some cases, during the 60s and 70s of the Jim Crow era. And that's for those that are African American like myself that know this shit. "24 minutes in. I say this in a line of fire, and I'm not even just going to take the bullets. I'm going to go for it. The issues of Louisiana, and I'm going to point it here. This isn't a capitalism problem. It hasn't been. It has never been a capitalism problem. This is a cronyism problem. There's a reason why our state is the original state of corruption. For people that say, Illinois is original. We made it. No. You want to come to Louisiana, you're looking at corruption. The state of Louisiana, we are P1 pole position in corruption. We are Ferrari. Better yet, for the first instance of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters saga, your first villain of the hour of Duelist Kingdom, Pegasus, Maximilian Pegasus. That is your original version of corruption. But that's our state. Is it fun? No, it isn't. It's not fun to talk through it, but I've said it even for all of it. I've said this. Wait a minute. Yeah, I was just looking through at it, and they say, yeah, they changed this. They changed a lot since I've done it, so it's really the thing. But yes, I'm just saying this even for an honesty assessment, it is needed. 2027 is going to decide the fate of this state for its good aspects, but potentially its bad ones. To me, I want to hold with no reasonable doubt when I say this. None. No doubt whatsoever. Because I'm going to put on pajama pants because it's been a bit. I had to wear this earlier, so this morning. So I would have done shorts. I am trying to not do this without being unholy disrespectful, but it's time. I say this in a lot of ways of it. You have one party that is for the past several years has been buffed to unholy hell, and that is the GOP. You have the Democrats that have been nerfed beyond comprehension since the loss of Kamala Harris and also Hillary Clinton, and that's their national form. You've basically watched Bell Edwards did his very best, or worse. You have watched, or even if it's very best, for a lot of people on the right, it is very worse. But let me say this: in the averages of the law of averages of everything else, Bell Edwards did his best, and guess what? So is Jindal, even though he was ass the entire time. But here's the good part about it: when it's Bobby Jindal, he likely signed the bill that made K vehicles legal to drive in this state. So, round of applause for that. To me, I do have a case in a lot of ways for what it is. In a lot of ways, it is a case. To me, this is the case of, in this state, I say this, it is the case of 2027 election of why Jeff Landry should be punted out of that in the voting box. You want these four fingers to tell you why his amendments are literally eliminated. It is the most hated governor ever. And that is as of right now. That is even as of right now when it comes to approval ratings. It is a 38%, 39% approval rating. Yes, they hate the man. They do not like this man. And even if they do like him, the problem matter is young people are showing their displeasure of not liking this man because they're out the door. The reason why I've said this, of why the 2027 election should be important, it is important for it, is this. A lot of the issues of Louisiana, from out migration to the economy to the running through of tourism, the costs of living, and everything in between of it all, is been an issue for Louisiana for a little over a very long time. This is not a recent issue. We have lost a paper mill that gave a lot of people that are working there consistent good income and a good tax base. Guess what happens when international paper can't even keep the parts in anymore? Guess what happens when the paper mill of the international paper of that paper mill, they cannot keep anything going anymore. They can't carry on like this. That's it. That's your tax base down to zero. That's the tax base for them. Gone. Annihilated. Team Rocket. Team Rocket not just blasted out again. Team Rocket got knocked the bleep out permanently. Dead. Shadow realm. Yes. For those that are not Yu-Gi-Oh worthy, Shadow Realm is basically the 4Kids version of literal death and hell. That's the point I've said this. This is what Louisiana has been in. When I say this is the point of Louisiana as the Shadow Realm, you look at Texas and you look at Mississippi. On your side is Texas, on the other is Mississippi, and also other states that are in the South. They are growing. Where are you? You're tanking. You are gaining. You are dropping. Louisiana is dropping. Texas and Mississippi are gaining for good opportunities. Arkansas is gaining too. Literally. We're not leaving them behind. And that's the point of it. They are leaving the state because the cost of living should be cheap for them. Yeah, but it ain't cheap for the residents. It ain't cheap for the residents that live in the state for years. It ain't cheap for the very people like myself that's like, oh yeah, I gotta take meds. Yeah. Gotta take diabetic medicine too, huh? Yep. This year coming would be a decade doing this. Yes, a decade potentially. That's why I want to live in so many ways. I want to live to see the day that we have in so many ways. Yes, I want to see the day that a cure for diabetes can be seen in my lifetime. And that's my point of it. That is the point of it all, and I can understand through it. My issues are going to be for this when it's the 2027 election for this state when it's said and done. Out-migration. Whoever in the NPA is, I think the no party affiliate for Louisiana, this is your only shot of the bow to start it. You have for James Bond, you have the golden bullet. Better yet, for this, you have golden torpedo. This is your final shot. The reason why the 2027 election is important and to not have it be very screwed up and for saying it for what it is this. For those that are no party affiliates, if you are a no party affiliate and you want to vote for this election, if you want to go for it right now, go for it. You have 5,000 signatures and $700 or $750. Go for it right now. Go for it right now. Go for it. This is not for 2026. This 2026, I wouldn't do it right at this point for this. Unless you want to go for the general election. If you want to go for the general in this year and make a statement for others that want to do so, do it. I say this right now, go for it. I just say this, say that for 2027. That is going to be the real Grand Prix. And it's the point of it. That is going to be the factor. The absolute factor. Because this is not fun. I said this. This isn't fun for me to say this. It is time I said it. This is why I've said this for what it is. I live to see this. To me, this is the thing. The 2027 election, in a lot of ways, is going to be the factor of literally the future of this state. The factor of Louisiana is, can you win? Can you survive this state in a way matter? To me, does Louisiana can survive after 2027? 2028, yeah? What's going to matter if the state of Louisiana, it's a problem and it's an issue and it is now, it is a dangerous, it is on perilous grounds. Better yet, you're not standing on the ground of a level playing field. You're about to deal with, in the case for Gen Z and millennials, a potential voting block majority. That's right. Millennials and Gen Z are in this state combined are the majority for this, are the majority voters for Louisiana. Go ask Grok why you says that. Go type, what is the majority? Is millennials and Gen Z the majority of the voters coming 2027 for the state of Louisiana gubernatorial elections? Yeah, go ahead. AI will answer yeah. AI will answer yeah because they counted it. Counted and a foul. Counted and a foul. That is what it is. This isn't funny for me to talk about this, but it's time. It needs to be that. It's need to be talked about. I think the mainstream media and even local media needs to talk about 2027 because this election should be the factor if Louisiana is even going to be relevant in any way. Better yet, it could be the factor of whether or not in any way there's a future for Gen Z. Better yet, a future for Gen Alpha. That is why I'm saying this. This isn't just a problem for a Democrat problem. This isn't a Republican problem. I'm going to keep it real. This is a bipartisan problem from both parties for years. We've been saying this for this. I love this state. It is my home. And I say this with all due respect. It is my home. I have said even in times that a wake-up call is going to come. And it may or may not have done. Here's the sad news. It is a wake-up call now. Gen Z and millennials are going to be a majority. You add Gen X, it is a super majority for voters in Louisiana. That is a fact. That is a fact. This isn't funny. This isn't bullshit. This isn't lies. And the case for Donald Trump, this isn't fake news. This is as what Grok and other in the cases for that of AI has to say. For those that don't agree with it, take it with a grain of molten salt. I don't care. I don't care for what you're going to say for opinions. Guess what? Take it with a grain of molten salt. I don't care. But I say this in all of it. I say this for it all. Louisiana needs a wake-up call. And 2027 will be that. 2027 will be that. Why? This decision should for both parties, because guess what? These two are going to be these two combined will have the questions be answered. And I say this, the question for this: what are you going to do to not just say we're going to solve the out-migrate problem, not just use whatever the hype or whatever thing to do it and then just say it's going to do it. What are you going to do about it? What is the solutions? And what is it going to take to make it work and make it done? What are you going to do? What are you willing to do to not just slow it down, but reverse it? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to give up everything that you ever have to fix this shit? Are you willing for literally Louisiana not just a friendly business state on its own, but a friendly business state for its workers. Are you willing to compromise everything you ever had? Are you willing to compromise not having full cannabis legalization for the people of this state? Are you willing to give everything up to basically listen to the people of this state in a majority sense? For those that say, oh, it ain't my opinion, I don't agree with it. Guess what? This is the majority of the people said we want it. So deal with it. Deal with it. This is the majority of your state that you deal with on a basis of this. This isn't fun for me screaming to get through this, because I love this state and I want Louisiana to be better. And that's my ultimate desire. That is my ultimate desire. It's my desire ever since of my birth. To me, Louisiana is the best of tourism. It is the best of the worlds of tourism. It is the best of the worlds of literally animal life in a lot of ways. It is the best of culture. It is the best. Oh yeah, I'm gonna say this for Canada, for those that are Canadian, that are really the Quebecs of Canada and others. I am going to run it through, because thank you for letting me say this. And then somebody saying on Canada when I was doing Reddit a long ass time ago, and they told me this to say, hey, be optimistic when it comes to this. You have a culture of France right here in this state, which is Cajun, Acadiana. Guess what, brothers? Guess what, brothers and sisters of the Cajun Louisiana? I love them all. Why? Because it's a culture. You want to know what I like about this state is this. You're going to have a party every single time. You're going to have a party even if your child gets an A on a roll. You're going to party if your daughter now has a prom date. That's a party. I'm going to tell you this. If you won district in high school football in Louisiana, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You're going to party. Because we party over just about everything. And this ain't a joke. This is fact. This is a fact. We party over everything. Even if LSU wins the NAC in basketball, we'll party over that. Even if LSU would win NIT, we'll party for this. Even if for Northwestern State to win NIT or even whatever else we're going to do. Or even for football, a national championship for NSU. Guess what? We'll party for it. 48 hours straight. That's the point of it. To me, I'm doing this stream to make certain of this, to tell why 2026 election is important for Louisiana, rightfully so, but also why the year after is even of the biggest importance of it. The biggest importance of this election should mean this. Louisiana has issues that is going to be solved, whether we're going to lose people or not. Cannabis legalization is, for full cannabis legalization is part of that. And I'm going to say this. It is my number one issue, period. For the economy, same way. Part of my top 5, better economy. Cost of living has gone up. And for that's even great. To me, I'm happy to say this. The insurance rates have gone to the point of literally no return. Fix this shit. That's top number 3 or number 4. To me, those are my issues. Mental health for me, that's even bigger. Because we're going to see a lot more people that are in the autism spectrum. It's going to get diagnosed to the point, or even outside of us, to come in and actually be there. This isn't going to stop No matter what RFK Jr. had to say, and they say, oh, they're just going to use it for this. No, I say this in all due respect. 100%. I'm making a case for the 2027 election to be important for the mainstream media. Not just for whatever else they're going to run the fade on for 2026, even 2028. I want every single local media, from KLB to KTBS to KTAL, KNOE, KSLA, and on down the line for the state of Louisiana and their local media, from the Advocate and all down the line, to say why the 2027 election is really, really, really important. Why I've said this, why I'm saying it is important, because the fate of this state could be decided in one way or another. My fate and hope is for no party affiliates to hold both parties accountable. That is my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to hold both parties accountable. That is my goal. That is my goal for this stream, and it's going to be the goal for myself and others that are millennials and Gen Z for the next 10 years or more, whether this state lives or dies. That is my goal. That is not just my goal. That is the goal for a lot of people that live in Louisiana. The goal for me in Louisiana is in a beautiful assessment of honesty, because this is going to be a forced one and you're going to have to hear it. Both parties should be held accountable for a lot of the issues that have done so even during 2020, but even worse from 2020 when you're losing young people. No, I hold both parties accountable. Not even just for John Bel Edwards, not even just for Jeff Landry. I put Jeff Landry, Bel Edwards, and others all the way to the start of the 80s as full responsible. It is an honesty assessment and a forced honesty one. Both parties should be held accountable for the issues of this state, because guess what? A lot of the issues of this state is now baked into the legislature and to their governors. That's why I told my mom when it comes to cannabis for full legalization. I have said this and I will keep saying this. A lot of things to be true, and I will say this on its own. Whoever you vote for, whether or not you're going to get cannabis, is dependent on who you vote for. I say this. To me, this is an honesty assessment. We need an election of a no-party affiliate, because I'm not voting either party of the Democrats and Republicans to have their own that is sane on either party. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen, and that will not happen. You're not going to have a sane one on either side of the aisle that is willing to solve this. Because I know in both of these parties, there cannot and they will not do a fucking shit. So, the goal for the no party affiliates, because guess what? This is 800,000 or so people now, since basically Jeff Landry basically lit the match and set the independent party on fire and burned it to crisp in an ash heap. It is 800,000 or so people. You're going to see, here's one problem, two problems for right now that people need to watch. According to a lot of this, the statisticians, it is the GOP is gaining voters, but it is slowing down to the point where it is gone to the point where they cannot gain any more voters to the party to save their lives even more. That's the point. That is a problem, and not a good one. You said for the GOP to win, you need more people to vote for you. Now you're going to have a problem for the Democrats. You have lost voters. Hard. And that's a problem. And that's not good. Because the issue, you need more voters to vote for you. Here's the problem. And I'm going to say this for this. I hold both parties responsibility for cultural war, but that's not even the point of it, of this video, or this live. Both parties are held responsible for a lot of the problems of this state. I'm not saying this to straddle the fence. Guess what? That is the fact. You can BS me all you want. That is fact. And the responsibility goes through them. Not just, your responsibility goes through them. That I said it for this reason. The responsibility, a lot of these problems for this state goes through them, not just one party or the other. It is time to hold both parties responsible for a lot of the problems. And guess what? That is it. That is the point of it. The problems of insurance, that is a GOP government thing for Jennifer Landry. When you literally sit down and play golf with car accident attorneys, aka Morris Bart, aka what's his face? The Morris Bart. Let's see what else. I don't care. I think the other one. Yeah, because we got one too many people already. Morris Bart. I forgot his face. But yeah, Morris Bart and a lot more people, a lot more of the attorneys that are doing this. When you're playing golf with them and you know you ain't gonna do shit, and then you're also playing golf with the insurance companies, and they say then you're doing that, yeah. Save the tears of don't talk, don't straddle the fence, pick a side. Don't tell me this shit. Don't tell me this shit. Because you're wrong. Don't tell me this shit. Because you're stupid. You're stupid. When you have one party that has been debuffed, that has been literally nerfed to the bone, and don't have enough of the voters to actually fight for you, and they're leaving in spite of the GOP and both of these parties. That is it. That is the responsibility that is need to be held. Period. Period. I hold accountable for both of these parties when it comes to that. When it comes to the point where the cost of living, when it's to the point where kitchen table issues in many ways do not matter for shit. Guess what? That is a responsibility for both the GOP parties. Because guess what? For GOP and Democrat parties, because both of them have tried whatever they could. It didn't work. When it gets to the point where your next door neighbors are growing because of you, your neighbors are growing on Texas and Mississippi, it's time for an honesty assessment, and it's going to be a forced one. For the young people of my generation of millennials that we have left, and let's just say it now, we do have some people left from that generation of the class of 2007, because I'll be 39 this year, and next year, Lord willing, I will be 40. 2027 is going to be an absolute banger, because I'll be 40, Lord willing. It's time to be honest. Both parties should be not just held responsible. A no party affiliate should go for a runoff. And that's the point of it. Both parties not should be just be held to a runoff. It should be a 1v2. It should be a 1v2 for a runoff for who gets this pivoted governor seat. Who gets the governor's faction? Better yet, I would love to see a debate for all 64 parishes. And the goal is simple. All 64 parishes that should have somebody that has a no party affiliate person that wants to be in the legislature, go for it. Better yet, I would give $750 or 5,000 signatures to do it. And I say this, if you want to start it now, do so. Please do so. Better yet, start the campaign right now and basically say this, that I already had signed 5,000 signatures already. I'm going for this. I'm going for it right now. To me, in my case, the 2027 election, in a lot of ways, is an important juncture. Because all it takes is one person to screw it up for themselves and for the party of the GOP or the Democrats or whatever. That's the thing. The one person to take advantage will be the person that is in no party affiliate. Or better yet, to me, if I was a candidate that would start off to have 5,000 signatures, my goal is this: have a full alliance with the Greens, with the Green Party, with the Conservative Party, which is, guess what? We have a party that is called the Conservative Party. Every person that is a third party should work together for the no party affiliate. We may not agree with issues. And then guess what? We may not agree for a case for a libertarian. Guess what? Work together. Work together to basically have something done. Work together, really, for something for this state to be done in a lot of ways. That is the goal. We're going to have to need to have allies that we may or may not like, but we have to work together for this. Because in the modern era of both parties, of the party governance of Louisiana, there's never been a person that is of the modern era that is in the state legislature or even as governor in any way. And I'm going to say this right now, in any way that has won the governor's seat. Better yet, even in cases not even of the legislature. It's time. It's time. If I was a person that wants to be the face of this state going forward, which is Gen Z, which is millennials, and even Gen X, the clock starts now. The clock starts now. And I'm using the 2026 midterm elections really is a setup point. Better yet, for those that are cycling love and looking back at the Tour de France, this is really the Giro d'Italia. Better yet, not even close of it. This is really the classics. The Tour of Flanders. Paris-Roubaix. Paris-Nice. All of it. Full prep for the real Tour de France. And that is literally the 2027 gubernatorial elections. The case of it is these issues. If neither of these issues get solved, if people vote for the status quo, I will make a promise to you, and it's going to hurt. Your son and daughter is going to leave. And guess what? May not come back. May not come back to even take care of you as a mother. In a lot of cases, even the father. They're not going to be there for you. If you vote for the status quo, and I say this with all due respect, out-migration will be really out of control. The tax base, you're going to see, and at the end, You're going to deal with an issue of the taxes, the cost of living, the economy, better yet, the taxes, to the point where if people vote for the status quo, it's going to be a problem for Louisiana. They're under debt. They can't carry. They can't hang on to it anymore. They can't. You think California is dealing with it back then? Yeah, wait until you see us. That is why 2027 is important. This is not going to be a red versus blue thing. No, this is going to be Z1 this is going to be USAY versus C1. We the people, that is USAY versus Z1, the status quo and the establishment. You can have all the BS and lies and all of to tell me that I straddle the fence all you want. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Your future decides whether or not you will have a state. Your future of whether or not people are going to vote for no party affiliate for actual change, or better yet, reform versus the status quo, that's not going to be decided on election night. This is going to start right now. Or election night in 2017? No, not even close. Right here, right now. That's the decisions. I don't say this, and I'm screaming I'm screaming not just for anger. I'm not screaming for anger and everything else. I'm saying this as literally a Louisiana resident, an American. I live in this state for years. A lot of things you don't want to accept. But if you vote for the status quo, that is exactly what you're going to have to accept. You're going to have to accept your daughter or son not coming home, even for vacation. And then even if you do, they're not going to stay there. Even if you do, your mom and dad may not be taken care of. They cannot. Because, yeah, you're not going to open up new nursing homes. Your governor proved that case, unless I got it wrong and I read it wrong. But yeah. The future of your education system also decides whether or not you're going not past top 30, but top 20, top 15, top 10 of the country when it comes to education. If you vote for the status quo, I can guarantee you you'll be right back down to dead last in this country. And I mean it. Same place as Mississippi. Better yet, Mississippi may beat you. Texas already does so. To me, why 2027 government, the 2027 governors, gubernatorial elections in this state of Louisiana right here is important. A lot of the issues and complaints start right here. Right here. To say this, is my room messy? Yes. Do I have to care what what's his face have to say? No. But at the end, my voice is my voice. I pray and hope that change happens. But people have to admit, if you want something and desire something, especially for a lot of cases, the economy. For a lot of cases, for cannabis lovers, it's going to be cannabis. It's going to be neither the Democrats or Republicans, no matter what, that is going to be there. The problem is who's going to be the one sane person in the bunch that is going to join a candidate that is a no party affiliate for a lot of these issues and force the extremes of both parties to be held in account. To deal with the fact that they are homeless and have nowhere to go and have absolutely nothing to lose. Because they know you're dealing with you're dealing with this year for 2026 and 2027, whether or not I want to live in this state ever again. To me, you're going to deal with for 2027 a majority of millennials and Gen Z to be answered this question. What are you going to do to slow down out migration? I want real solutions. I want real solutions that can be done so for the people, so my friends can come home again. And so they could give everything they have for you. That's the point. That is the time. A lot of the problems of dating, in a lot of ways, come from this issue, this place here. This is not just the guy's issue. This is not just a female issue. This is the issue of your state, and it's this. And at the end, money is a factor. Your economy could decide that. You as a person can decide that, but the next one, in this case, who you vote for can decide that. The status quo is really this. For Z1 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Of you at the end, you say beat Z1 to actually use, yes, his cards to bring hope and beat him in his final effort, to get his life points down to 0. And he is held to account. 100% held to account. If we do want to be like you say in this case, let's hold both parties accountable. And I say this in it all. A lot of the issues from out-migration, from the economy, to car insurance, to healthcare, all of it comes from here and both legislatures. Here and both parties of these legislatures. Here and both governors of these legislatures for the past several years. Better yet, not even past 2020. Most likely in the 90s, in the 80s. That's it. This isn't going to be, oh, we need to have a protest vote. This is not a protest vote. For those that say that I want a protest vote, guess what? You vote for the status quo. Your state will be gone. Your state will be not just irrelevant, it'll be irrelevant in its permanent state. I don't want that. Do you? I don't want that. You? If you don't want that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to me. Welcome to Thomas. And this is going to be talked about. This is going to be, I'm going to say this. If the media, the mainstream media and local media won't talk about it, I will. Because that's going to be the factor of whether or not Louisiana in any way is going to be relevant. In a lot of the biggest of issues and a lot of everything else. To me, I think both parties need to be forced to not just to heal, but to be held to account. It is not either or problem. It is a bipartisan problem. To me, in Louisiana, for all of us, not even for all of us, just myself, that I lived in this state for almost 30 years. Better yet, I've lived in this state for all of my life. The goal for me, by the time I get off this stream and watch more YouTube, is this. The goal for me when it comes to this stream is I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk on a lot of ways. I'm going to use a lot of means to get my point across. I'm a gamer. I'm a soccer fan. This year I'm going to make the decision of whether or not I'm going to deal with the World Cup. And in the case, here's the good news. I'm doing it. That is going to be the goal. My goal is going to be to have that World Cup on this stream. The problem matter is I will not use FIFA audio or video. But I may have to set it up as a good thing. In a lot of ways, a score bug or something to talk about it. But also in a way to talk about it as not even an election year that is standing up 2027. Yes, I'm going to talk about the U.S. Soccer Federation. In my quote of, they might as well lie to me every 4 years. A lot of the chances for a lot of these players, their biggest chance for the U.S. men's national team to win a cup at home starts here. But if you want to be an embarrassment for the U.S. men's national team, lose on the group stage. You want to be an embarrassment as well for the women's team, lose on the group stage as well in Brazil. In Brazil, where Marta to this day is pissed off from the not even Seleção. I'm not pissed off that the men get more of the power and everything else, more of the popularity, more of everything than the women. She retired because Brazil doesn't give two shits for women's soccer. Guess what? I will give even this, in a lot of ways, the case why USA also should be U.S. Soccer Federation and even the Brazilian FA, which is the Campeonato Games on, I think, Brasilia Futeboleiros or whatever. The CBF, which is their soccer federation. Their soccer federation. Or football. As long as we speak the same language and you kick a ball in the back of the net through goal posts and under a crossbar, I don't care what I call it. To me, I have a case with unreasonable doubt why, if neither of them make it to the round of 32, it's time for both sets to clean house. Better yet, it's time to put both Pochettino and Hayes under maximum pressure. Some cases over maximum pressure. The 2026 World Cup, along with Canada and Mexico for the United States, for all three, is in the billions. Some cases, tens of billions to 100 billions of dollars. You're going to have less people on the seat because the tickets are high. You're going to have more people watching the match on television. That is why I'm going to have a score bug around, and I'm actually going to talk about it when I do. Lord willing, when I turn 39. Whew. Keep me in prayer. Keep me in prayer. Because of the passion that I feel and everything else is why I do what I do. I don't do this in a lot of ways for the clips, the views, or whatever. I just want to talk. I want to just put everything on the plate and think of what you're about to eat, and put everything. And at the end, put everything on the line for what I'm going to say. And what I'm going to say when I leave here in this stream is this: the state of Louisiana for the 2027 election. The rules for going forward with its no party affiliates should be this: go for kitchen table issues. If anyone utters the word culture war or whatever on either side of the aisle of their talking points of that, it's over. It's over. I will just vote for a libertarian and just call it at that. But if you go kitchen table issues, the problems with cost of living, the costs of living in this state, the education system, everything else, the prices of food, everything, the loss of jobs, hope to, and at the end, my sons and daughters leaving this state knowing they're not going to be home for me when I'm needing of help. Guess what? Yes. And put them both candidates of both parties under pressure. That is not a 1v1, but a 2v1, which is the Democrats, Republicans, and a no party affiliate alliance. This is it. This is it. I think 2027, if I'm saying it for what it is going to be their final shot to do so. If we don't take this seriously, there will be a full closed party system for the entire state as well, potentially. I don't know if it can happen, but guess what? I've seen worse. I've seen worse when it comes to Louisiana. I've seen worse. The goal for no party affiliate is this: have a very sane person, a person that is well known in business. In my case, a person that is fully known, not just in social media, but in the industries and the sports they love, or in the things they love. I wouldn't even have Hollywood, a person that is from Hollywood there, that is outside of the state. I want a person that is an actor or an actress that is from Louisiana and is going to live in Louisiana and say this: I'm going to live and die for my state, and my voice and the way I act will be part of this. That's it. That's the goal. My goal is simply have a good business person that is going to be really for the governor, for the role. And all will fall into place. I think for the parish of Natchitoches, guess what? Well-known person that is a no party affiliate for the state legislature, aka the state senate and or the state House of Representatives. I say this: put a person that is really well-meaned, well-spoken, that is going to get millennials and Gen Z to vote for you. Because here's the truth. This is exactly what's going to be. This is not out of pity. This is the truth. Gen Z and millennials combined will be the majority. To be the simple majority or even a majority outright for this state. And that is for the young people that are here currently. They need a person that is not just going to tell them the truth, but to tell them what really is going on. To tell them that the problems of this state is both parties' governments, for the government of a bipartisan issue that is for years. Don't go any other line than, guess what? I'm the person that is not to go for governance or anything. I want to help the people in so many ways possible. I will use whatever means to make it possible. Capitalism will be one, but at the end, make Louisiana not just a friendly business state, but a friendly state for all people to work, live, and play. I would like to have a person that is really of a government to say this: I'm not going to be the version of Jeremy Hamley of what he just did to Keno Casino today. That is basically calling it for what it is. Basically a false strike, a false copyright strike, and to basically go for a strike on Kick. I'm not going to be that man. To me, I'm not going to be the one that is going to literally disrespect his wife and to be an absolute perv. I'm going to be a person that really, the ones that are going to need to be called out are both the parties. To me, 2026 is really Grand Prix session. It's not even Grand Prix session. It is a Grand Prix test session to see if anything's going to work and can we really compete. That's the goal. I I think I will do a stream tomorrow and say, and then have a full everything to talk about, and have a full screen, and I'll show everything to say why it is important. And I'm likely going to use Grok because here's the problem with a lot of issues now. You have to have citations for your shit. The problem with AI is, yeah, you're having citations, but it's not enough. But it's not fully the ones to cover it, and it's going to be on that spot. So I'm going to think, how am I going to do this one? But to me, it is a good way in an hour and 21 minutes and potentially 15 seconds, really quick, to end this stream. And it is a good test thing for me to see how well I'm going to be capable of doing it. But yes, 11 o'clock, I got to eat snack. I got to eat snack and head for bed. Better yet, head for bed, and my phone is charged and everything. Good night, good luck. I'll see you in the morning. Lord will, and let me live. Keep me in prayer. I'll see you when I see you.